Good afternoon, and welcome back to LeagueWise and today's installment of Finn's 5. I'm your host, Chad Finn, and in this video, we'll be giving you my 5 starters for each role in the DraftKings LPL 2-game slate that locks at 5 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, Friday morning. The featured games in the 2-game slate are Game 1, EDG, or Edward Gaming, versus Team Wii. Game 2, we'll see LNG Esports versus Suning Gaming. Coming off split, these teams finished middle to bottom of the pack in the regular season and overall are evenly matched. Edward Gaming finished 7th with a record of 7-4. Team Wii finished 9th with a record of 5-5. Suning Gaming came in at 11 with a record of 5-7, with LNG Esports finishing 13th at 4-8. Real quick, I do want to make sure everybody knows how I play League of Legends Daily Fantasy. I'm not a multiple lineup player. I play one lineup in multiple tournaments with a focus on single entry events. Nothing wrong with playing 30, 40, 50, 150 lineups, however you want to do it. That's just not how I like to play. So when building your lineups, keep in mind that my picks are based off of the matchups, who I think is going to win. Winning base scoring potential of each player, and expected ownership. In our first game, like I said, we have 2 playoff teams facing off with EDG and Team Wii. With Edward Gaming coming in at a negative 176 favorite, Team Wii a plus 143 underdog. In the playoffs, EDG finished 4-4, beating Royal Never Give Up 3-1 before losing to Fun Plus Phoenix 1-3. Team Wii also went 4-4, beating E-Star 3-1 before losing to Top Esports 1-3. On April 19th of this year, these teams faced off, with Team Wii walking away with a 2-1 match victory. We are currently in what most people would say is a bot lane meta, and I feel as though Team Wii holds an advantage in the bot lane in this matchup, and for that reason, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go with Team Wii in the upset here. In the second game, we have 2 teams that were on the outside looking in come LPL playoff time, with LNG facing off against Suning Gaming. In this matchup, Suning is a negative 187 favorite, with LNG a plus 152 underdog. In their regular season meeting on March 24th of 2020, Suning walked away with a 2-1 victory. Again, if I'm looking for lane advantages, the 2 that jump off the page for me would be the top and support. I do like S of M in the jungle, even though I don't think he's that much better than Gigi. I believe that's how he pronounces it. If I pronounce any of these names wrong, I apologize. I'm 47. I'm an old guy. It misses me sometimes. This one's a little tougher to pick, but I do like the upside of Suning Gaming, so I'm going to go ahead and stick with the favorites in this one. That leaves us with Team Wii and Suning Gaming for lineup construction, and here are Finn's 5. At top, I'm going to roll out with Bin at $6,000 from Suning. He didn't play in their first meeting, but he is an aggressive top laner with carry potential in a matchup versus Flandre that I think favors Bin. Actually, I think it favors Bin quite a bit. Depending on the draft, I could see S of M playing through top early, especially if Bin gets Renekton, Wukong, or Aatrox in the draft, which I can see him getting those champions, at least one of them, in each one of the games. You know, like a Renekton game 1, Aatrox game 2, or something like that. My jungler is going to be S of M from Suning. Pretty even matchup, like I said, but again, I do like the upside that's there, and he played a major role in the head-to-head matchup, finishing the series against LNG 3, 6, and 36. He was playing on Trundle, Jarvan, and Sejuani. I expect Trundle and or Sejuani to be available in all the drafts here. I kind of anticipate Jarvan being a priority ban probably for both teams. But I don't think LNG bans Trundle and Sejuani in a game as well. So I do believe one of those will be available. Like I said, I do expect there's a good shot that he's going to play through top originally, which could result in multiple snowballs as the game progresses. In the mid lane, I'm going to go ahead and start Angel. Again, I feel as though Suning has the most upside of all four teams in this slate in a win scenario. So I want to make sure that I'm starting their potential carries. And Angel is a good mid laner, in a very favorable matchup. In his last match versus LNG and Maple, he went a combined 11, 7, and 24 on Kassadin, Zoe, and Twisted Fate. Kassadin most likely will be a ban priority for LNG. Angel's been allowed to play him 6 times during the split, is 6-0 on him, and is pretty dominant in the games that he does play with them as well. So I expect him to be a priority ban, but that still leaves Azir, Corki, Syndra, Fate, and Silas, all champs that Angel is capable of carrying on. You can probably throw Zoe in there because Zoe's just so broken. But at the end of the day, he just hasn't looked very impressive on her to me. But I do expect a big game out of Angel in this one. Moving to bot lane at ADC, I'm going to go ahead and roll with Hunfeng at 7,600 from Suning Gaming. Arguably, I believe he's the best player on the slate in the matchup. I expect them to dominate, as he is also playing with who I believe is the best support on the slate in Sword Art. Hunfeng's last matchup versus LNG, he went a combined 16, 6, and 18 on Misfortune, Varus, and Aphelios. Through the season, Hunfeng's played 20 Misfortune games. She's not a ban priority because he's better at other carries, and there's other positions teams seem to focus on versus this lineup. However, he does have a 55% win rate with Misfortune and can definitely carry with her. I expect him to have a big game. He should be able to get on favorable champions for himself. Rounding out Finn's 5 is our support. And even though I love Sword Art, I think he's the best support on the slate. I can only start 4 Suning players. So by default, I'm going to be going with Missing, who isn't a bad play. He averaged more fantasy points over the season than Sword Art did on a per game basis. I do like the bot lane matchup in this one as well. In their last meeting, Missing was impressive. Really, the whole bot lane was. But Missing went a combined 4, 9, and 37 playing Thresh and Nautilus. Missing's Thresh is God tier. There's no other way to put it. He might be the best Thresh in the world. And teams tend to give him that pick more than he should get it. I'm not 100% sure why. Maybe not everybody agrees with me. Every time I've seen him on Thresh, it's been dominant. I expect EDG is going to, like I said, give him the opportunity to play Thresh at least in one of these games. Lately, it seems like that's the case. Probably a mistake, but at the end of the day, truth is there's probably more priority bans and supports, especially at this level. But that does it for this edition of LeagueWise. I hope you enjoyed Finn's 5. And please don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, and notification buttons below. And please feel free to comment. Leave any comment you want. I'll try to answer it the best as I can, as quickly as I can. Again, I want to thank you for watching. This is Chad Finn saying stay safe and see you next time that the Rift is open.